There we go. Okay, so there's recording. Now you may want, yeah, like a long box or a chair or something for one of the stretches later. But otherwise, we're going to start with a march and just get the hips and pelvis kind of warmed up a little bit. So nice high knees, good vigorous swinging arms so that we can warm the shoulder joints and hip joints up. Good, and a nice breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Good, keep breathing, keep swinging and pumping and warming up the joints. Think about the tail and pubic bones reaching down equally, front and back of the pelvis. And let the top center of the head float up. Good, and then see if you can keep the hips nice and steady and take the legs out to the sides. We do a bit of external rotation and breathing in and out. Lengthening the spine even as we warm up here. Back to parallel. Keep the hips square as best as you can, crossing the knees. Good, really nice. And then back to parallel. Take the legs out. We're going to go forward and back twice. So go ahead and walk forward, even if it's just a couple steps, and then walk back. Perfect. And forward. Good. And then back. Back to parallel, and then cross the knees through the midline, forward. That's it, and back. Let's do eyes to the horizon. Nice long neck, forward. Beautiful, and then back. Find parallel. Good, we'll stay here for a couple of moments. Take the legs out. Good, and you're just gonna do hands on the hips, a little squat and step touch. Squat and step touch. So it's kind of like you're about to push off of that standing leg and you're going to jump up one side and then the other side, which of course we won't, but I want you to feel all the muscles around the hip and the pelvis and the thigh bone. Strong inner thighs, outer thighs, glutes, quadriceps, hamstrings, everything kind of pumping. Good, we'll just do a few more side to side. Good, one more each side. And then come to center, bring your feet to parallel. You're gonna go down into a squat. And I'll show you from the side. I'm gonna try and have my torso and my shins on the same angle so that my ears stay over my ankles. And then I'm just gonna press up and down, starting kind of small, pretty easy. The knees go forward as much as the shoulders go forward. So again, shins and upper body on the same angle. Down and up, and you push through your arms and a little posterior tilt through the pelvis, just enough to lengthen the lumbar spine. Yes, really good. And let's do 4 more. 3, 2, stay down after this one and do little pulses, up and down, just little pulses. Keep that bit of posterior tilt. Good, breathing in and out. Good, let's add external and internal rotation of the arm bones while we pulse. I just want to sort of exhaust the quadriceps. And yeah, good, turning arms in and out. Take them out to the sides. Keep pulsing, little posterior tilt. Bring them back in. Yes, really nice. And then pause with the squat, arms, palms facing down, and slowly press up. Go right back down into the squat, stay there and go knees in, knees out, knees in, knees out, slight posterior tilt, long body, long spine, in and out, and in and out. Good, 3 more times, 2 more times, 1 more. Stop in the parallel position, press all the way up. Good. Okay, wiggle the hips out a little bit. Good. Hey, Christine, we're still getting warmed up. We were chatting for a bit at the beginning here. We're working on hips today. So if you need a cushion for your knee, grab a cushion for your knee. Yeah, perfect, exactly. Okay, and then you're gonna stand on your right leg, do a nice posterior tilt, and bring your left leg up in front of you. And you're gonna go internal, external rotation of the thigh bone. So really turn the thigh bone out and in. Try to keep your knee in front of your hip. So if I go from the side, it's a 90-degree angle at the hip joint. Ribs are back, tuck the pelvis. Stay in external rotation, so foot across and little pulses up. We're doing 20 pulses. Try to keep your tail tucked. I do want to exhaust the hip flexors a little bit. So here we go, about 10 more. 9, 8, 7, up from 90. 5, 4, 3, 2, nice work. And then put that leg down. Good. Find your balance on your left leg, posterior tilt. Bring the right leg up in front of you and start a tick-tock with the goal of internally and externally rotating the thigh bone. So shoulders are easy, knees in front of the hip socket. Good. If you need to hold on to something, hold on to something. Keep breathing. Turn in and out with that thigh. Good. Now keep the thigh externally rotated and lift from there. Little pulses up from 90. Good. Keep the rib cage back in line with the pelvis. Nice work. Push the head up to the ceiling. Good. External rotation of the thigh bone. Little pulses up. Psoas time. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then bring the leg down. Give your hips a little wiggle again. Good. And now we're going to work that internal external rotation with the hip in extension. So find your balance on your right leg with a little posterior tilt. Bend your left knee so your foot is pointing at the wall behind you. And then again, turning the thigh in and out so the foot does a sweep across the wall behind you. Here we have to fight a little bit to keep that posterior tilt and try to keep the left hip in extension. Watch that the ribs don't push forward to try and create the extension. Ribs are back. Yeah, really nice. Let's do 4 more each side. 3 more. Really turn in and turn out. 1 more time. And then put that foot down. Find your balance on your left leg with a nice posterior tilt. Bend the right knee, right foot to the wall behind you. And then begin your swiping the foot across the wall, keeping the knee pointing down, thighs parallel. Good. Ribs are back. Tail is reaching down. Good. And you can imagine the thigh bone dropping straight down from the hip socket. Find more each time, a little more external and internal rotation. And we'll do 4 more each way. Good. 3 more times each way, a little more each position. And 1. Good. And then put that foot down. Ah, good. Give your hips a little wiggle, wiggle. Really nice. Okay. And then you can aim your camera down to the floor. We're going to do 1 more warm up lying on our side. And then we're going to go directly into the hip eldoas because they're going to be kind of our beginning and end today. So you can lie on your right side and let's have the knees stacked in front of the hips. And just stretch yourself out. You can have a pillow or rest your head on your arm, elbow, whatever feels good. Good. Okay, so let's already bring the rib cage back. So it's like you were lying along the bottom of a wall. So the whole back body is straight. Flex your feet, engage your abdominals, find a little bit of reinforcement through the whole body, and then lift the top leg up parallel to the floor. We're going to draw really slow and big circles with the knees. So think about the movement from the hip. Use your abs and your, especially low abs, to keep your hips stacked, ribs back. Bring your knee towards you. This is your left knee, flexing the hip. Abduct the hip. Open the leg up. Internally rotate the thigh bone. Keep the hip stacked, ribs back. Adduct the thigh down towards the other thigh and pull it from extension back into flexion. And again, abduct first, then internally rotate at the top. Then bring it into extension, ribs and pelvis steady. Bring it in through flexion. 1 more time. Big circle, trying to get a maximum abduction, internal rotation. Keep that as you go into extension and then flexion, and then go the other way. You're going to extend, keeping the hips and ribs. Internally rotate, abduct, externally rotate, and then adduct and flex in front. So you're pushing the foot behind you, extend the hip. Internally rotate the leg and externally rotate it as you come around. the top of the circle. Last time. Keep the hips really stacked. One more in the same direction. Good, maximum of each position of the hip. And then you're gonna bring that leg down and let it rest. Nicely done. Roll onto your back for a second. And just let your knees do a windshield wiper from side to side. Good, and then before we go to the other side, keep your left foot flat, knee bent. Just hold on behind your right thigh, or sorry, your left. Hold on behind your left thigh, left shin or ankle, and you're just gonna do a little bend and stretch so that you get a hamstring stretch when your leg is, when your knee is an extension. So you're just going into a gentle hamstring stretch. We'll do this about 3 more times, just moving in and out of the stretch, saying hello to the back of the legs. Then keep the legs stretched in a hamstring stretch, flex and point the ankle. So really feel the top of the foot moving towards and away from the shin. Keep the hamstring on a stretch. The knee doesn't have to be super straight. It might be a little bit bent. And reach the left sit bone away. 4 more times, flex and point. 3 more. 2 more, and 1, and then relax the leg down and we'll lie on the left side to do those circles with the knee. So you're gonna stretch yourself out and have your knees stacked in front of your hips, feet flexed. All of us in the room today definitely need to keep the ribs back in line with the pelvis, and it's like you're lying against the bottom of a wall. And then when you're ready, lift the top leg parallel to the floor. Here we go. Flex the hips, so bring your knee in, abduct. Then internally rotate the thigh bone, extend the hip behind you, and bring it forward into flexion. Same circle 2 more times. Flexion and abduction, internal rotation without coming out of the hips or ribs, extension of the hip, and then flexion again. 1 more time in this direction, like you're trying to scrape the edges of the bowl with the icing in it. It's like you're doing that with your knee. Go the other way. I don't know if that makes any sense. Extend the top hip, internally rotate. Externally rotate as you come around the corner to flexion. And again, extend the hip, watching the ribs and the pelvis. Internal rotation. Then external rotation and adduction and flexion. 1 more time. It's like you're really stirring the thigh bone in the hip socket. So keep the hip socket nice and steady. Good. And then bring that leg in and rest. Roll onto your back. Good. Knees windshield washer from side to side. Easy windshield wipers. No stress, Christine. If this ends up being a total gong show internet-wise, I'll send you the recording. No worries. So here we go. Let's hold on to the back of the right thigh or shin, and you're gonna just straighten and bend the knee in and out of a hamstring stretch. Try to make it somewhat comfortable so you're not forcing into a crazy stretch. Just sort of coming up to the start of the stretch and then backing off. 3 more times. Breathing. And then hold the hamstring stretch and add flexion and extension at the ankle. See if you can keep the right sit bone stretching far away from you. And it's like we're just trying to wake up the tissues that run all the way from the back of the pelvis, past the sit bone, down the back of the leg into the heel. Do 2 more, flex and point. And then relax that leg down and roll onto your side. Come on up. We're gonna do both hip elbows back to back on each side. So if you need a cushion for your knee, you can grab that. And we're gonna start with the left knee down and the right foot out to the side. I'm not gonna take a ton of time getting into these ones. These are kind of just our testers. So be, aware, don't force anything. It's kind of like, just see where your legs, your hips are at. So square and level off the hip bones. Ideally, that right heel is in line with the left knee, but you just do what you can do. And make sure you've got a 90-degree angle at the right knee. Then from here, let's just tuck the pelvis quite a lot. Press the knee back and push the right hip forward. Knee back, hip forward. Good. Even more hip forward. Yes, good. And then the knee goes back. So the hip takes precedence. Take the arms out in front, external rotation, extended wrists, and take that left arm up by your ear. I can already feel my right glute is working. Pressing the knee back. Drop that right sit bone down and reach up through your left arm. Slide your bottom rib backwards and push forward through your right arm. Now keep the knee back, hip forward action. Keep the arms and the spine and the tuck, and press the arch of your foot into the floor. Keep breathing. We're going to go through everything again. Arms pushing away from the back. Right sit bone down, left hand up. Good. Right arm forward, bottom rib back. Knee presses open, hip presses forward, arch of the foot down for 3, 2, good. 1. Bring the arms down, keep them just in front of you. Back off the pelvis a little bit and heel toe your right foot in front now. Good. Translate your ribs side to side, because I feel like on this one it's very easy to land in a side bended spine. So side bent spine. Good. And then land with the pubic bones and xiphoid process and mantis all lined up. Tuck the pelvis, push the sacrum behind you, push the front knee forward. Tuck the pelvis a little more, slide the sacrum and bottom rib back, push the knee forward. Now take the left arm up towards your ear. Don't disturb the position of the xiphoid process. Yeah, that's it. Left arm up. Push the arms away, reach the head up, tail down. Bottom rib back, sacrum back, push the knee forward, and now lemniscate the top or the front leg. Arch down, shin out, thigh in. Arch down, shin out, thigh in. More of thoughts than movements, but rotating the bones in your mind. Pull the bottom rib back and push the front arm forward. Push the right sit bone down, push the left arm up. Good, reach tail to crown. Last 5. 4, push that knee forward, keeping the pelvis where it is. 3, 2, good job. Bring the top arm down. Slowly release the pelvis, arms and legs. Come to hands and knees for a quick cat-cow. So it doesn't have to be big, just a really gentle cat-cow will do. Breathing a little softness into the right hip socket. And then off we go to the other side. So the left or right knee is down, left foot out to the side. So we're going to repeat those two hip elbows now on the left. Put your hands on your hips and you can square your hips off like headlights of a car. Good. And level your hip bones. Good. Then keep that left hip bone forward, at least in line, not beyond, but in line with the right hip bone, and press the left knee back. Draw the bottom rib back, posteriorly tilt the pelvis. Lots of good stretch already in that hip. Let's take both arms forward, right in front of the shoulders, and then take the right arm up by your ear. Good, and create a diagonal line from the heel of your right palm to your left sit bone and push them apart. Sit bone down, hand up, good. Then create a line from the heel of your left hand to your bottom back rib and push them apart. Good, crown to tail is lengthening. You still have a posterior tilt. Press the knee back and push the arch of your left foot down. Arch down, knee back, both hips pointing forward. Breathing here. Sit bone down, tall arm up. Front arm forward, bottom rib back. Looks really good. Last 5. Push the arch of the foot down. Press the knee open. 3, 2, 1, and then bring the top arm down and just back off of the leg a little bit so you can heel toe your left foot, beautiful, in front of you, and then do a couple of translations of the pelvis here. Nice easy breaths, yeah. Good, I love it. Coming into center, mantis, sternum, pubis, everything lined up. Tuck the pelvis a lot. Oh, hi, left hip. Okay, take that right arm up by your ear. Good. pull your pelvis behind you, pull your bottom rib behind you, but push without moving the rib and pelvis, the left hand, left knee forward. Pull the sternum, or not the sternum, sorry, the sacrum and the bottom rib back. Grow taller. Left sit bone down, right arm up. Good. Now really press forward through that front knee. Lemniscat the front leg. Arch down. Roll the shin out. Roll the thigh in. Push the knee forward away from the pelvis. Tuck the pelvis more as you push the knee away for 5, 4. Push the arms. 3, 2. Amazing work, ladies. Bring that top arm down. Soften the pelvis. Soften the legs. Back to cat-cow. So just a nice, easy cat-cow. Just trying to breathe a little bit of more softness and movement into the left hip socket now. Okay, it's time to do some stretches. So the first one we're going to do is good old-fashioned glute stretch. So you have to lie down on your back. I'm going to try and stretch around the hips from below the sides and maybe even a little bit above with some of our lumbar eldoas. So let's start with the big glute. Cross your right ankle over your left knee and bring your left thigh in. Just see where you're at with this one today. We know we want to try and keep the shoulders relaxed. We know we want to try to drop the tailbone like a drawbridge down, but also draw the bottom ribs down. And then see if you can line up your left knee with your left shoulder. Good. Now we just take a few soft breaths into the stretch for the next 10 seconds or so. Maybe you can add a little more through that right foot with the flexion and eversion. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax your feet and switch sides. Crossing left ankle over right knee. Good. Draw that right thigh in. Give your hips a wiggle, move around a little bit, find the optimal position. Long spine, tail dropped, bottom rib anchored into the mat. Soft upper body, even as you pull your legs closer. Tug them in a little bit, line your right knee up with your right shoulder. Add a little more through the left foot, flexion and eversion. Yeah, beautiful work. Breathe into the stretch for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then slowly relax the feet. Good. This time, cross your right thigh all the way over your left thigh. Now we're going more for the lateral glute. You're going to fold your thighs in over your chest, and then just hold on either to your knees or shins. You can hold on behind the bottom knee if that helps. And I like to think about the bottom leg, so in this case, the left leg, is helping me to approximate my right thigh towards my chest. And then push your tailbone and sit bones away. Soften the sternum, hold and breathe for 5, 4, 3. Really reach that right sit bone away for 2, 1. And then slowly move the thighs away from the body. Good, and yeah, we're going to switch sides. So cross the left thigh all the way over, and then fold the thighs in. Try to really deepen those hip creases. Okay, here we go. Holding on wherever you can get to, and use the right leg, the underneath leg, to sort of push the top leg towards you a little bit more. Then soften and lengthen the spine. And let the pelvis roll away, like as though you would anteriorly tilt the pelvis. If you get a little pinchy in the front of the hip flexor, soften out a little bit and see if you can wiggle your way into a better position. Last 5, 4, really nice. 3, 2, 1, and then just let the legs move away from you. Good, uncross. Beautiful. Okay, and then let's flip all the way over onto our stomach. And we're going to do a classic quadricep stretch. We're going to do this one here, and then you have the option to do one in a kneeling position, which is a little bit more intense. So let's take the right arm and reach it by the ear and turn your head to the left. So the right arm is by the ear, head is to the left. Wiggle your hips out on the floor. And then bend your left knee and reach back to your left foot with your left hand. And then you can put your head back down if you have to lift it up. Thighs are parallel. Now we've got the knee and the arm reaching. Right arm is reaching, left thigh is reaching. Press your 2 hip bones into the floor. If you like, tuck your right toes under, like you're standing on your right leg. That might help you press your pelvis down. Reach through that heel if you have the toes tucked. Now try to lighten the front of the rib cage and posteriorly tilt the pelvis. So lots going on here. Reach through the long arm and the long leg. Slide that left thigh away. Draw the pubic bones to the belly button. Lighten the front of the ribs. Press the hips down. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then slowly release that foot. Good, you stay there. I'm just gonna switch myself so I can see you, but you're gonna take your left arm by your ear on the floor. Turn your head to the right. Reach back to your right foot with your right hand. And then you can, once again, tuck the toes under on that left foot like it's a standing foot. And we want both hips pressing down, the front of the ribs light, and you layer on a posterior tilt. Draw the pubic bones to the belly button. Reach through the long arm and the long heel. Both hips press equally. Front of the ribs light. Draw pubic bones to belly button. And reach that right thigh away for 5, 4, 3. That looks really good. 2, nice work. 1, slowly release the foot and relax the pelvis. Okay, so you have that as an option. I'm going to show you the next stretch. And you may or may not need a chair for it. But this is going to be the option for rectus femoris, the really, that nice big hip flexor, big quadricep muscle. So I'm going to have 1 foot forward, hand on the chair, and then I'm going to reach back and bring my heel to my bum. Ideally, the heel touches the bum, and then I do a posterior tilt. If looking at this, you know that it's not going to happen today for you, then you just repeat what we did on the floor when you're lying on your stomach. So you're going to decide what you want to do. Christine, you could probably use that bed behind you. Do you have the bed behind you? Yeah. Put your hands on that. Just make sure you have a nice cushion for your knee. You want to be kind of on the top of the knee, not on the kneecap, obviously, but just above. Yeah, and that looks really good, Ellen. Now the key is heel towards bum. Ideally, the heel touches, and then posteriorly tilt. And it's in that posterior tilt that the real stretch becomes apparent. So draw the pubic bones to the belly button, even if it's just a thought. Let's hold for 5, 4, 3, great job. 2, 1, and then slowly release that foot. Nicely done. Switch sides, really good job. Very intense, but also a great way to just really get into the insertion at the inferior iliac spine. So taking that same side hand, holding the foot, trying to get the heel to touch the bum on this side. I don't know, I've been doing this stretch for a while and it doesn't seem to be touching, but it's definitely getting easier. Okay, you're gonna tuck the pelvis, and it's in that posterior tilt where the real stretch begins. So think about pubic bones to belly button. Think about crown of the head to the ceiling. Try to turn the pelvis into a posterior tilt even more for just another 5. 4, you're breathing as well. 3, 2, beautiful work, ladies. And then slowly release that foot. I'm going to ask us to do it 1 more time per side. So back over to the first side, whichever one that was for you. Good. And then reaching same hand to same foot. Heel aiming to touch the bum. 1 more time each side. Christine, yeah. And we're going to go, yeah. See if you can tuck the pelvis under. That's it. Nice. Using your prop just to help you with the balance part, but push your head to the ceiling. Draw your pubic bones to your belly button. You're almost there. We have 10 seconds left. So make sure you breathe and tuck. Breathe out and tuck. Breathe in. Good. And then let's slowly release the stretch and over to the left side or the other side, whichever side you're doing. Here we go. Will it come closer to my bum this time? Maybe. Okay, once you've got that foot, yes, good. Then you can start to tuck the pelvis, good. Yeah, let your prop help you. Think about bringing the bottom rib back as well. That's part of your posterior tilt, or at least part of lengthening the back of the body. Yeah, good. And bring the pubic bones up to the belly button. Good. Push the head up to the ceiling. Let's do 10 more seconds. 9, 8, breathing in, breathing out, tucking the pelvis, bottom rib back, sternum pointing down. 3, 2, good job. 1, slowly release. Good job. Oh my gosh, twice in a row. Good for you. Move if you have a chair or something, just move that prop out of the way. Wonderful. And then just come back to facing me. Okay, and then we have this lateral hip stretch. We're almost done with the stretches. So the way I like to set this up is a bit of a tricky stretch, so just be patient if you don't feel it right away. Put your right hand, your right hip, and your thighs along the front edge of your mat or on an imaginary line. Okay, and then try to stack your hips. So hips are vertical, and it gets easier if you take the top leg in front. So I'm going to take my left foot and put it in front of my right knee. Good. And then we're going to do a big posterior tilt. Good. And then think about the outside of that right hip sinking into the ground and try and push your ribs up and away from it. So the ribs on that right side slide up and away. Now we want yeah, that's good. I think Christine, hang on, everybody stay. I'm just gonna have a closer look. Yeah, Christine, try to move your bottom leg more behind you. So it's like your bottom knee, hip, and hand are on the same plane. Okay, we'll hold just for another breath. Yeah, so move that hip forward. Good. 3, 2, that's it. 1. And then you're going to slowly slide the bottom knee forward, uncross, and go to the other side. So the idea is this the whole lateral hip, not one single muscle, but much more global. So you're going to try and bring your hips in line with your thighs and your hand. Hips in line with thighs and hand, and then take the top leg forward. Okay, and we're going to feel the bottom or the outside of that hip on the ground, and then push your ribs up. Try to pull more space into that side of the waistline. Good. This side might be tighter, so keep breathing. Grow taller, head over shoulders, crown to the ceiling. Good. Outside of the hip sinking and gently drawing the ribs up and away. Good. Think about a bit of traction from the bottom rib away from the side of the hip for 3, 2, 1, and then slowly ease back, slide the bottom knee in to release the stretch. Good job, really nice, ladies. Take your legs out in front of you, give them a good wiggle. All right, so that's as much around the hip as I want to do today. So we did the glutes, a couple different parts, lateral hip, quadriceps. I'm not going to do psoas. So instead, I want you to think about our lumbar elbows to really find that bottom rib back and lift it up. So it's like you're taking the top of the psoas and pulling it back and lifting it up through the rest of the body. So here we go, starting with L2. Take your legs out to a 90-degree angle between the thighs, or if you're a very flexy person, you're going to go a little bit wider. Good. Wiggle your hips out, find your sit bones. Good, translate your ribs a couple of times, side to side. There you go, translate your ribs forward and back and find that bottom rib, especially at the back. Great, okay. Reach your right arm up. I just want to do a quick side bend. Go up and over and try to lift the back bottom rib away from the back of the pelvis. But you're going to keep the ribs in line so the ribs don't slide forward. If anything, angle backwards through that back rib. Pull it behind you. And then come out of the side bend and try the left side. Arm goes up and you're going to do a big arc up and over. And the focus is on drawing that bottom rib on the left side of the back backwards. Bottom rib, left side of the back backwards. Beautiful. And then come all the way up. Good. And then here we go. Take your arms forward. Externally rotate your arms and extend your wrists. Let's draw the bottom rib back. Draw the ears back, tuck the chin. Keep the legs relaxed for now and start to float the arms up towards your ears. The goal is to keep the bottom rib and the ears where they are. So bottom rib back, ears back, good. And of course you can think xiphoid process, softening, pointing down. Good. Do a couple of little mini rib translations to lift your ribs up a little further and back, ears back. Now feel L2 lifting off of L3, right? Just above belly button height. And now see how that changes as you flex your feet, turn the thighs in, and invert the feet. Turn the shins out, turn the thighs in, so a lemniscate. Reach through the heels, turn the shins out, turn the thighs in. Can you pull down through L3 more now? Can you lift up through L2 more? Stay there just for another 3 breaths. In and out. Good. And in. Good, and out. Get the tension through the ankles if you need to. That's it. Beautiful. Yeah, looks really good. Bring the arms down nice and slow. Good, and then relax the legs, give them a little shake. Bring the legs into a long diamond for L3. So softening and giving the legs a break. Let's come to long diamond. Once again, you're going to keep the legs relaxed until we set up the arms and spine. So vertical pelvis, pull the bottom rib back, slide the chin in. Take the arms forward, external rotation, extended wrists. Here we go. Arms come up, but the bottom rib stays. Xiphoid process points down. Ears stay over shoulders. Find L3 behind the belly button. Lift it up first. Then keep lifting it as you open the arms away from the ears. Lift L3 more. Push the crown of the head up more. Good, that's it. Turn the arms out a little more. Experiment if you widen the arms another inch. Does that help you lift out of L3? Good job. Now focus on that lift through L3 and see if you can flex and evert the feet. Roll the shins out and roll the thighs in. And can you anchor now L4 a little better? And then lift L3 up. Flex and evert the feet. Roll the shins out and the thighs in. Let L4 slide down and lift L3 for 5. Nice work, ladies. And 4, great work. Keep going with that xiphoid process. 2, 1, bring the arms up to the ears and then down to your sides. Then relax the legs. Then relax the spine. Really nice work. L4, and then we go do our hip elbows again. So let's take the legs to 90 degrees at the knees. Feet kind of half set up, so not full tension in the legs yet. Couple hand widths or so, sit bone distance between the heels. And out we go with the arms. So close your eyes and line up your ears, shoulders, bottom rib, pelvis. Keep your eyes closed and take your arms up towards your ears, keeping the bottom rib, the xiphoid process, the shoulders, and the ears. Keep your eyes closed and lift L4, that's below the belly button. Lift that level of the spine up, slide the bottom rib back and lift it up a little more. Good, now keep the arms, even keep your eyes closed and focus on your low back as you flex your feet maximum, evert the feet. Shins roll out, thighs roll in. Notice how the pelvis anchors better now, and you can pull out of L4 and anchor L5. Stay there for me. Okay, nice, nice spines. Ears back a little more, Ellen, just a little bit. Beautiful. Nice, Christine. Bring the right arm in a tiny bit closer. That's great. Yes, really nice. Last 5. And 4, use the legs to anchor, use the arms to lift. 3, 2, nice work. Bring the arms down. Good job. Relax the legs. Good. Relax the spine. Ah, really nice work. Okay. So back to hip elbows. Here we go. Not going to take a really long time getting in and out of these. We might even just hold them for the half minute or 45 seconds. But I just want to see how it feels on the second go. We have about 8 minutes, so I think that's enough time to eke them out both sides and then still have time for L5S1. Let's do left knee down, right foot out to the side. Only because I'm in a bad habit of almost doing that every single time. Hips square, hips level. Good. Pressing the knee back, keeping that left hip in line with the right hip. Tuck the pelvis. Here we are. Take the arms forward, external rotation, extended wrists. Keep the ears over shoulders, rib over pelvis. Take the arm, left arm up towards the ears. You've got one long side. That's right. So one side is one long line. Now press your right sit bone down and push your left arm up. Keep your spine lined up. Press your right knee back. Press your right hip forward. Turn the arms out and push them away. Lengthen the spine, keeping the arms. Press the knee back and push the arch down. Keep the arms and the spine and the leg. Last 5. 4 soft breaths. Pull the thigh away from the hip. 3, 2, 1. Bring the top arm down. Soften enough to heel toe the front leg, or the right leg in front of you. You got it. Do a couple of rib translations. You can even close your eyes, just don't fall over, but land with chin in line with pubic bones. Tuck the pelvis. Big tuck. Take that left arm up by your ear. Good. Soften the sternum down. Tuck the pelvis more. Push the front arm forward and the bottom rib back. Push the top arm up and the right sit bone down. And now push your knee forward. Try to take your whole right thigh bone and pull it forward away from the back of the hip. Just for another 10, 9, keep going, 8, 7. Use the arms and the spine to set the pelvis in place and then pull the thigh bone forward for 3, 2, good. Then bring the arms down. Relax the pelvis and switch sides. Good job. Oh my gosh, here we go. Right knee down, left foot out to the side. Hands on the hips. Square and level the hips. Tuck the pelvis, grow the spine. Where's your bottom rib? Bring it back. Arms coming forward, here we go. Take the right arm up by your ear so you're one line from the hand to the knee. Keep that right hip or left hip forward. Press the left knee back and push the arch of the foot down. Now we go up through the top arm, down through the left sit bone. Keep that. Forward through the left hand, back through the bottom rib, and keep that as well. Then push the arch down and knee back, hip forward. Good. Imagine that thigh bone moving away from its own hip socket. So drop the sit bone down and pull the thigh to the side for 5, 4, 3. Use the arms and the spine to stay fixed in the torso. Good. Then bring the top arm down. Back off the pelvis enough to heel toe the foot forward. Good. Bonus stretch on the standing hip here. Tuck the pelvis under. Big posterior tilt. Level off the hip bones. Translate the ribs a little bit side to side. Find your center. Great job. Here we go. Right arm up to the ceiling. Push the front arm forward. Pull the sacrum back. Push the front knee forward, arch down, shin out, thigh in. Reach up through the top arm, down through the left sit bone. Push the arms away, breathing here. Let's hold for 5. And 4, use the arms and the spine to create a fixed torso, and the thigh pulls away from that torso. 3, 2, 1, and bring the top arm down. Relax both arms, relax the pelvis. Cat cow, and then we'll go to the wall and do all 5 as one. Nicely done. Okay, here we go. Little cat cow. Oh, okay. And let's do all 5 as one. Here we go. Okay, Ellen, if you have to go, no worries. I think Christine had to go too. Yeah, nice work. Good. Okay, I'll do L5S1 and be all wrapped up. Okay, here we go. Sit bones up against the wall. Good. Just enjoy for a second the floor and the wall and all of that support that they give you, and then we'll think about really relaxing the hip sockets. Just a lot of work around those today. All right, the tailbone is going to drop down to where the floor and the wall meet. The top of the sacrum is going to relax backwards into the floor. So the top of the sacrum, about the level of those dimples, relax it backwards. But keep the tail dropping and just gently anchor those bottom ribs into the floor. Okay, arms up to the ceiling now. External rotation, extended wrists. We're going to flex at the ankles, turn the thighs in, turn the shins out, and invert the feet. Eyes are down, chin is tucked, jaw is relaxed. The arms are going to arc back to the ears. Keep the jaw soft. Keep the sternum soft. Keep the bottom rib velcroed down. Top of the sacrum tipping back towards the floor. Tailbone reaching into the seam between the wall and the floor. And then add a little more reaching through the arms. Pull the head away from the wall. Slide the ribs away from the pelvis. Pull the lumbar spine away from the pelvis. Reach the heels up and invert the feet. Shins turning out, thighs turning in. Stretch that tailbone down, flatten the sacrum. Breathe in and reach. And breathe out and reach. 10 seconds left. Breathing in and reach. All the tensions and rotations in the leg bones. That really heavy pelvis, that really long lumbar spine. And then we'll take the arms up to the ceiling and down to your sides. Relax your ankles, shins, and thighs. Relax your pelvis. Let your legs be whatever position feels good here. Relaxing the thigh bones in the hip sockets. Relaxing the back of the rib cage and the back of the pelvis and the back of the skull into the mat. Eyes closed, hands on the low belly. Breathing into the hands and breathing out. And breathing in and breathing out. And one more breath in, relaxing more as you exhale. And then that's it for today. Stay there as long as you like. And thanks for coming to class.